And welcome back to Derp Derp and Friends Reviews. I'm Derp Derp.
I am Ski Nerd.
Today we're trying something new and reviewing a movie.
We just finished watching it. It was called Army of
Thieves.
Thieves. That's it. That's the movie. Um, all right, let's do let's do what we normally do and just at the end
Yep.
uh, see how we rate it and stuff. Wow. All right. So to begin this movie, uh, they told us the tale of these four safes and about this guy
Hans White Wagner.
Hans Wagner, and he it was his life's work, and he put his life's work into making these extremely difficult vaults, and for whatever reason, he stepped into the last vault, and he
Locked himself in.
locked himself in there. And these vaults were special because if you failed to crack it, it would incinerate everything inside of it. So if there's paper money in there, well, now you have no paper money. So
And there's four safes altogether. Reinhardt, Siegfried, or Reinhardt, Valkyrie, Siegfried, and Guten something.
I don't know.
They all represent different mythologies.
I didn't write that down. So
That's how it was explained in the movie. Like,
there's like four operas or something like that.
I
There's
think it
four
was
stories.
mythology stories.
Yeah. And he killed himself in the worst way possible. Why would you be alone in a vault? Like I don't understand. There's anyways. And so our protagonist, his name is Sebastian. Took me
Sebastian
till the end of the movie to learn his name.
Schleicht Warner.
Yep, that name. Um, so we find out that he is a safecracker. He's making YouTube videos.
He's a self-proclaimed safecracker. Meaning he never really did any thievery work himself beforehand.
He just kind of did it for fun.
Taught himself.
Yeah, he did it for fun and
Made YouTube videos.
on the theory of cracking different safes. However, we find out that he is a boring bank job, and he goes there every day, doing the same thing every day, ordering the same coffee and
Bagel. Or cookie.
muffin. I think it was a muffin. It was like
Looked like a
banana.
cupcake.
I think it was like banana nut. No, it was like a. It was like
small.
Yeah, it was a small muffin. Um, and he did that every day for a long time. And one day he has 0 views on his YouTube stuff until one day he gets a comment and it says, "Hey, test your skills here in uh, Berlin." And he's in Belgium, I think it was.
Yeah.
Something. Somewhere in Belgium, and so he goes to Berlin and there's a safe cracking competition, and he gets to the first one, and like it's funny because the first thing he has no idea what's going on, and he kind of stands around for like literally a minute, going like, "What's happening? Oh, I guess I better open it." And uh, he moves on to the next round, makes it to the semifinals, uh, then beats that one, and he gets the last one, and the last one he's kind of just talking to the guy, and they only have like 3 minutes to crack this giant safe.
He's basically gloating. You're trying to convince him to.
He's like, "You're doing it wrong, basically.
Yeah.
Hey, is that gonna do go there? Is that gonna go there? But he figures it out without even really touching. He kind of like touches it. I don't know. He has like a weird sense about it. But he opens it in like 8 seconds, and he's like, "Wow, that's awesome!" And then this woman comes up. She's like, "Hey, I'm gonna recruit you. Come join my band or whatever."
And so we are introduced to Gwen, played by Nathalie Emmanuel from Game of Thrones.
Wow, she was the translator. I was surprised she didn't speak any Dothraki. I was kind of disappointed. Safe cracking competition. Gwendolyn. One view on YouTube. Oh, they mentioned the one view on YouTube. Like she's in. She goes to the coffee shop and she kind of. She's like, "Hey, I'm here." Blah blah blah. And of course, he spills coffee on himself, which is pretty great. And she mentions, "Oh yeah, you have a boring life," and explains what his life is. Blah blah blah. And she's like, "Yeah, I've been in here for 7 minutes, and I stole this guy's watch and this lady's ring, and this guy's gone." And so he gets recruited for a bank heist, and he passed the test, so that's why she's recruiting him. Um, and he kind of tells her about the Hans Wagner stuff after she mentions like what safes they were going to crack. And he's like he doesn't believe her at the beginning, but then he kind of gets intrigued. And but she says like you have until tomorrow morning to decide. Do you want to stay in your boring life or do you want to do something worthwhile? And of course he does it. Otherwise the movie would end. um, let's see. Oh, and then he has a weird dream about zombies. Um, foreshadowing something. I don't know what
Because
it is.
at one
Um,
point in earlier, it shows a news broadcast about showing a zombie, so that so it starts kind of affecting his mind just seeing it.
yeah. Oh, I know. I was being
Yeah.
facetious. Facetious. No, that's not the right word to use there. Never mind. Anyway, so she's like, "Oh yeah, hey, you made it to the place." Blah blah blah. So she introduced everyone. First one's Karina. She's a hacker. Then we have Rolf, the driver, and you can't really understand what he's saying because his accent is really heavy. And then we have Brad Cage, the action hero. And no, that's not his real name. He made a fake name.
Because he's obsessed with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, and as you learn a little bit later, it's a mix between Brad Pitt and Nicolas Cage. So Brad Cage.
His real
Um,
name is Alexis.
yep, and he doesn't like that name for obvious reasons. So then it cuts to the first heist that they do. So they get to the first vault, and they're like, "Yeah, this is easy peasy, piece of cake."
So easy that it's the type of the in normal movies where they just outline it and or go through and outline it, and then when just to say how you do it, and then when when you actually get to it, all goes wrong.
Yep,
That's how they describe it.
but it's a credit union because it's for kids basically. But it goes without a hitch. He opens the vault thing, blah blah blah.
And he goes, and then he's like, "Okay, when do we start? We're already done."
Yep, they're already done, and he's really excited. Um, oh, that was ow. Anyways, then it cuts to Interpol. There's a guy named Delacroix and a woman named
Beatrix.
Beatrix, and they're out to get this group of people because
They've caught him
Brad
before.
Cage
Yeah.
shot him in the leg. And he's like, I would have gotten away with it too if that guy didn't shoot me. I think they caught the safecracker
Yeah.
though. And yep, they want to catch them. And then you have like a little Gwen backstory, how she was like a rich kid and She wanted more excitement in her
Just
life.
bored.
Yeah, and so she, um,
Started thieving, stealing from people.
yep. And then 17, she ran away, and by 19, she met Brad, and they started. They've been stealing for I don't know how long, but they've been stealing. Um, oh yeah, and then Sven kind of had his backstory about how he was never like the other kids. He liked cracking safes instead, so he would
While they were
practice.
playing sports.
Yeah, he was not really a
And it's not Sven.
It's not Sven. Oh, it's Sebastian. That's right.
I was gonna let it slide at first.
I don't even know I said that. All right, so then we get to the second heist, and it's a little more tricky this time. He kind of the hacker chick is like, I only get 16 seconds before I have to leave, or else I'll get caught.
Leave the systems.
Yep, leave the hacking system or whatever. And so they have him pretend to be like a bank guy, and he goes in and he pretends to like turn the key, and they're able to see it on the video. They're like, oh my god, that guy just disappeared. Oh my god, he turned the key with his finger. That makes doesn't make any sense. And then Interpol is there because he's like, oh, they're going after that. They went after this one vault. That means they're gonna go after these other vaults. And so they move in. They're like, I know they're gonna come in. So they move in, but it turns out they're at the wrong bank.
Because they just moved it a
Yep.
little while before. Just because they wanted to keep it more safe.
Yep. Let's see. Wrong bank. Left behind. Who was left behind? Oh, right. So they get into the second vault, and as a secondary distraction, Brad goes in because a silent alarm was tripped
Yep.
when they noticed the fake key, uh, and so they're down there, and Sebastian almost fails. Well, he fails one time, and basically he messes up, and all the say what are those the turn things on the safe with the numbers on them?
Um,
What is that called? I don't even know. Um, the turnstile, I guess.
dials.
Yeah, the turning dials they use to crack safes. Um, they all kind of went into the machine, and then one popped out. He's like, oh crap, and Gwen is like, well, what does that mean? He's like, well, I've failed, but I get one more chance. And she's like, what happens if you fail? She's like, well, everything inside of here uh, burns um, and gets destroyed, basically. So, um, so he tries really, really hard, and there's kind of like this back and forth because back at the place, uh, Sebastian learns of Gwen and Brad's history. They were in a relationship, and uh, he's like an asshole. So there's some tension there, and then they were talking all night about different things, and now they're kind of in a little argument. They're both a little stressed. He's stressed because he failed, and she's stressed because Brad wants to get back together with her, and she doesn't want to, and so they're both kind of tense. And when he eventually breaks open the machine, and they're about to kiss because they're obviously in love, obviously, and uh, they get a call on the radio. They're like, "Oh crap! All the alarms have been tripped. You guys are fucked." Don't worry. Brad's distracting them
By
with
the
his
way,
mask.
his distraction is running into the bank with tranquilizer guns, wearing a is that
Richard
Richard
Nixon
Nixon
mask,
mask,
and that
and
was
tranking all the guards.
Yep, he's tranking all the guards. So he really, he was wearing that mask because of I think it's the movie Breakpoint, Breakpoint, or Point Break. Aha, Point Break. Yeah, I got it. Where they all wore the presidential masks and stuff like that. He was really influenced by American action movies and
Yep.
stuff. So, so that was cool to see. And then he one of the all the guards go down, and so the last guard he raises the not the silent alarm but the real alarm, and he comes out with the gun, and he's gonna about to like trying to shoot him. He shoots him right by his ear, so it's hard for him to hear a little bit. There's a little tussle, and he starts running away. Brad starts running away, and he gets shot in the shoulder. And then everybody's running out, and then it's Gwen and Sebastian running, trying to get into the van, and Gwen gets in, but um, Brad pushes on Sebastian, so he was able to. They were able to lock arms, but then he like pushes him away because he thinks he's stealing his girl. Um, so why is her fist like that? It looks like she's going meow. It looks like she's a cat or
By
something.
the way, this is Sebastian, it's Karina, Brad, Gwen, Rolf.
Yep.
Not that
I said Rolf. Yeah, Rolf the driver. He loves his sandwiches. His footlong sandwiches.
Rolf with the sandwich, Karina with the weird ear.
And so he's pushed out of the van, and now he's basically fucked. So the van drives away, but the police are all there, and Interpol's all there, and they're chasing him, and so he starts running, and then he finds a bike. He's on this bike, and there's this whole sequence of him going down all these stairs and him screaming like crazy. He's like ah, which is pretty funny. And then after that, he's able to escape on a train, and he's just like, "Oh, I made it! Oh my god, it's so great!" And there's this whole thing of them all being in the van, and they're like, so it's clear that Brad and the driver, what's his name,
Rolf.
Rolf, are in for the money, but Gwen and Corina are in it for the legacy of it. That's why they're trying to get into these vaults.
And for the thrill.
Yeah, the thrill and the legacy. They don't care about the money. They're like, we get into the vaults, we'll be legends forever. And so Gwen leaves, and Karina follows her. And Brad is like, "Oh, we don't need you. Blah, blah, blah. Just drive, Ralph. Just drive. Blah blah blah." Yeah. And so they meet at Sebastian's house, and he comes in, and you can see the two girl shadows there, and um, oh, they both came out in 2021. Oh, that's
Yep.
crazy. Anyways, they see their shadows, and he walks right past them, and they're like, "Well, this is. Should we say something? No, it's past. It's way past the time. Yeah, we can't say anything now. Well, maybe we can say surprise. No, I don't think that'll work." And then Karina's yells surprise, and he spills his hot coffee all over himself. um, and then they team up in a three-way team, and uh, they convince him that he's required, that they need him, and so he agrees to do the last one. And cuts to a scene of the Interpol guy. He sees Sebastian's YouTube video, and he recognizes the YouTube video and makes the link that they're the same person. And they're like, "Oh my god, it's them." So then the third heist happens, and so basically, they're Interpol's ready. Interpol's ready to go in, and they deem it necessary. They're listening to all these channels. They got all these snipers and people watching the casino where the vault is being held at. And well, so they go in at around 5 a.m. and it turns out that they're too late. So then it's them being like, "Oh, are you the manager of the casino?" "Yeah, I'm the manager. Yeah, we're doing exactly like you told us." And they're like, the guy from Interpol's like, well, "What are you talking about? Um, we didn't. This is our first time talking to you." They're like, and she's like, "No, you told us yesterday that there were some people trying to steal from the vault, so we moved it." And they're like, well, "When did you move it?" "Well, last night, because we had to move all the time." And they're like, "Oh shit!" So it turns out that they were busy like 8 hours beforehand, um, talking, pretending to be Interpol, and be like, "Oh, people are gonna come. You gotta move stuff," and then they are able to get the vault onto this truck, and they're able to drive this truck. And as they're driving the truck, he's trying to crack the safe. It turns out the two guys, Brad and Rolf, are there in another car, and they're trying. They want to, basically steal from them. They're trying to catch them taking the vault, and they want to steal their money because they're not on the planet anymore. So then the hacker girl, the Corina, gets caught, and she texts them like run, and she makes a deal with the Interpol. Like the lady Beatrix says, "Hey, your brother's in jail, and I'll let him out if you give us some information." And so she does, like, tell them where they're, where the truck is going, and during when and then Sebastian is trying to unlock the safe, and they're while moving. This is the toughest safe with like 21 trillion different combinations or whatever, which is insane. And
There's 7 different dials.
yep, each vault is more complicated than the next.
Like the first one's pretty, I think, could have been done in any order. Second one had to be done in a certain order from each at 3, but it couldn't just be randomly chosen. It had to each be done at a certain time. And then the third one is just 7.
Yeah, and he's slowly doing all 7 of them. And so there's this like huge turn part where he kind of gets screwed, and one of the clicking things or blocks is stuck, and he's like, "Crap!" So he pounds on it. I think he has a serious problem, and he's sexually attracted to safes. I think he needs to go to therapy because that's kind of weird. Because
Long of technique.
yeah, he's the technique safe crackers. Anyways, so they're able to. He opens the last safe, and he's in awe of like, holy crap! I finally understand this Hans Wagner guy of what he was thinking when he was making all this, or why he
Locked himself
locked
in.
himself. I don't remember what he said because they said it so fast. Um, but he understands it now. Whatever. And then they get caught by
Beaters.
no
Or no,
Brad,
Delacroix.
Brad and
Yeah, Brad and Rolf.
Rolf. Thank you. I always forget his name. Brad and Rolf, and he's like, "Oh, you have to come. You want to be with me?" Like pulls a gun out on both of them. He's like, "You need to come be with me." And she's like, "Are you seriously like, pulling a gun on me, and you want me to like be with you? That's not superhero like." And then so Sebastian gets like really pissed off
balls, and he punches him and
Hurts
breaks.
himself.
Yeah.
Like Brad doesn't even move. He's just like bum. Like, what are you doing?
He even did kind of the jump punch.
And he's like, seriously, you're going for that guy? Oh my god, what the hell? And then Gwen pulls the gun out on them. He tries shooting Sebastian a couple times, and she's like, pull the firing pin out. You can't use your gun. Ever since you shot the Interpol guy, like, I don't trust you anymore. Um, and so he's basically jealous, and so they tie him up at the where the safe is, and Interpol finds the two guys, and they're already like a ways away, and they're in the car, and they're like, he's like, I like you, and then they kiss.
By the way, Ralph is very easily turned sides.
Yeah, he's like, can I switch sides? And they're like, no. Yep. So the scene. Oh, right. And then they're about to get on the boat, and the Interpol guy comes out, and he's like, haha, I caught you. And they're like, no, I can't leave you. And Gwen wants to make a deal, like, I'll give you a bag of money if you let us go. And he's like, no, I'm here to catch you. But she requests that Sebastian leave and on the boat. And he starts crying because he doesn't want to leave her. This woman that he just met like 5 seconds ago. And so he escapes, and Gwen is then caught, and he gets his passport changed to the name that
Dieter.
he dreamed of having.
Ludwig Dieter.
Yep, Ludwig Dieter, and then because this is a prequel to
The Dead.
Army of the Dead,
Which he hasn't seen yet.
I have not seen it.
I have.
It cuts to a scene where Tony, what's his name?
Dave Bautista's
Dave
character.
Bautista, and whatever that lady's name was, Selma. Was it Selma Hayek? I don't know. Whatever the woman, I guess that was a scene from
Army of the Dead. Where they go to recruit Dieter.
Yeah, and they show him
Blueprints.
blueprints of the last safe to crack, and he's super excited, and now we know why. So overall, it was a really well paced movie. Out of should we do out of 5 or 10?
To 5.
Out of 5. I gave it 4.
I gave it a 4 as well, just because like I said, I've seen Army of the Dead, and his Dieter is probably one of the more interesting characters.
Yeah, well, I mean, his obsession with vaults and weird sexual tendencies towards male objects meant to house valuables.
And getting more background on the slaves, especially the fact that they're all based on mythology, and I'm huge on mythology.
Yeah, it's
Like, Valkyrie had to do with Odin and his 2 daughters, which really interested me.
that's cool.
And I don't remember the others.
And then they were based off of operas.
Yeah.
So Siegfried and
Reinhardt,
and whatever the last one is.
Gutenhagen, Gutenharben.
Yeah, it was well paced. It wasn't. They didn't. They had serious scenes along with funny scenes. Lately, at least, Marvel has been like. Remember when we watched the Ghostbusters Frozen Empire? When that I can't remember his name, the funny guy.
Paul Rudd,
No,
Kumail Nanjiani.
yeah, the guy who does the morgue from the Thor movie, Thor Ragnarok. Or not, his partner's name is Morg. Is he's the rock guy. He's like, hey, welcome to our lair. They play video games with Thor in Endgame. You know what I'm talking about? He's the Indian guy.
Come on and get me.
Yeah, he's the voice of the one the rock guy.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He's also in Eternals.
Yeah, he's also in it. No.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
that's someone else.
No?
No, that's a different comic. I forget his name. Hold on, folks. We got a disagreement. Disagreement. He won again. Holy shit.
This is the guy that was in Ghostbusters.
No,
Yeah.
that was someone else.
Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. He's also in Eternals.
Oh.
I know.
Type in Thor Ragnarok.
I know my movies.
Yeah, type in Thor Ragnarok. I'm getting people confused. He played one of the Rock people.
No, don't question me about my movies.
Hey, I can question you all I want. But we use the internet as a way to see who's right. Sometimes I'm right, and usually Jake is right. But the point is, Jake's never 100% right. Cord, the weedy guy.
Tacky Waititi.
Yes, that's him. That's who I thought was in the Frozen Empire.
He isn't even Indian.
Well, I know, but the Waiti guy, he was in that.
He's New Zealand.
Yeah, that guy. I thought it was him. They have a similar. He is similar. Okay, I got confused. But he was the director of Thor: Love and Thunder. And then he was also in.
Jojo
Oh,
Rabbit.
he's in Jojo Rabbit too.
Yeah, he's
And then
Hitler.
he was in.
He plays Hitler.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Not. Where's the one that he? Wasn't he in Free Guy? Like the bad guy? He was the bad guy in Free Guy.
No.
Then who was that guy? God damn it. See, I don't double check my work a lot of the time.
Or he is in Free Guy, apparently. Because he was...
Yeah, Tiki Wahidi is the ruthless narcissistic founder and CEO. Yeah. I don't know why I didn't show it on that. Because he was in it.
Yeah.
Those are directed ones. That's why. He did Thor Ragnarok. I didn't know he did Thor Ragnarok. I like Thor Ragnarok. But the kind of of humor of like continuously like everything this person says is funny. Would have worked like 10 years ago, but now it gets old. It's like you have to do it in the correct way, where sometimes it like you have to be dramatic and serious, and then you have to like kind of go back and forth between the comedy and non-comedy. Because if everything's just comedy, it comes off as like a fad, um, like a one-time thing. It's like how like Deadpool is a smartass and Spider-Man is kind of a smartass.
Wise ass.
A wise ass. And who's the other person that did that all the time? Oh, the Guardians of the Galaxy. They're always cracking jokes and being wise asses. When that first comes out, it's like, oh, this is awesome. I fucking love that, and a lot of people love it. But then you take it one step further, and you have a character or multiple characters or every scene being like, oh, well, you got to make this funny, you got to make this awkward, got to make this funny, got to make this awkward. You do that too much in a movie, and it kind of loses its power. It kind of loses its uh, what's another word for word for that? Its oomph. It loses its oomph. Wow, I'm using the bigly words, doing it very goodly. Um, anyway, so it had a good contrast between funny
Mm-hmm.
and funny. I suppose, yeah. It wasn't a desperate funny. It wasn't I'm trying to be funny. It flowed better
Mm-hmm.
with the character of like he's an awkward person, and when he screams, it's genuine. It's like like when he burns himself and he screams, or when he's riding down a flight of stairs on his bike, which he obviously has never done before. I think he was doing it on his front wheel because he braked awkwardly, um, and he was terrified. That's like a genuine, it's a funny thing that he's freaking out about that. Or when he gets shot in the Brad multiple times. You couldn't have told me you pulled the pin on that? I don't know he's gonna shoot you.
He probably still would have screamed.
Yeah, even if you did it again, I pulled the pin on it. Oh, yeah. So the pacing was good. The balance between the drama and the comedy was good. Um, that those they were kind of fourth wall breaks, but they were like they're not exactly fourth wall breaks, but they're explaining like, oh, this is the part of the movie where this happens. I don't know what that's called, but it's not. Those aren't fourth wall breaks.
that
Not like Deadpool. Deadpool was like
that
in your face, fourth wall break.
it's not necessarily fourth wall. It's just like it's what Scream does. Because like it mentions stuff like that. It's not necessarily fourth wall breaking. It's just
It's aware of itself.
yeah.
It's aware of itself.
Because Scream
Okay.
does the same exact thing.
Yeah, that's good.
Because it like
Or like Rick and Morty. They're very aware. Well, they do also do fourth wall breaks, but they're also very aware. And then the latest Deadpool and Wolverine movie was not only fourth wall breaks, but
but
they were
aware.
aware of themselves. And if you can make fun of yourself, then people respect you for that, and that respect leads to people liking you more. Um, which is good. Which is why I always laughed at myself every single day, especially when I fell on my face. My pretty little face.
Before we get on another rant, that was a review of Army of Thieves.
Oh yeah, View of Army of Thieves, solid 4 out of 10. Or sorry, solid four to five. Or if you're out of the 10 scale, it's 8 out of 10. I base it off. I do the Angry Joe thing where 5 is average. So based on 5, a 3 is average. So it was definitely above average. It was fun to watch from beginning to end. There wasn't really any dull places in it where it was just like, okay, this is boring. Just get on with it. Except when I was watching prequels to Deadpool and Wolverine yesterday. Oh God, it just kept going and going, and I came in there like 5 or 10 minutes late. So, uh, yeah. So thanks for watching our review. That is,
Derp.
and I am Ski Nerd.
Like, subscribe, comment, give us more options to watch. We're gonna start
We'll,
making lists.
we'll probably watch
Army
Army
of
of
the
the
Dead next
Dead.
week.
Yeah. So if you want us to watch any movies or TV shows, let us know. We'll put it on the list. But not if it's like 1,000 episodes, because that's too much. Something that's kind of on the outside looking in, and more
How
about
about
common
this?
stuff.
Give us 10,000 likes and we'll watch and review One Piece.
Dude, we won't get 10,000. We
That's
won't
ex-
even get 10,000 views in
That's
years.
exactly the point.
Oh, 10,000 likes for One Piece? Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, 10,000 likes for One Piece. Watch our shit. Fuck out of here. Fuck
Or
off, you
case
wankers.
closed. If you'd rather us do case closed, because I have more interest in that. I've read it all, though.
I've seen it all. Alright, we can be done.
But
Alright.
join us for Pokemon D&D Wednesday, and whenever we do Dresden review next, probably Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday or Thursday. Well, we're done. We'll be done. It's okay. Sorry for the